is a precious paper, that's all.
Well, that's the problem.
Yeah.
We've got to have a water carrier on its way here within about 2 or 3 minutes.
Oh, well. Is a precious paper, that's all.
Well, that's the problem.
Yeah.
We've got to have a water carrier on its way here within about 2 or 3 minutes.
Oh, well.
We're
There's another big beast that's floating around too. If he comes back half full, I'll send him up.
Yep, please.
Right.
Yep. Okay. Yep.
No, we lost the water. Right to tell him we lost it.
What, eh?
The back blew out of it, nearly blew us off the rock.
For us. Shane! Don't stop it, Russell. I just want to slow it up.
Because all that from the fire, we put all this out down here, and otherwise we would have lost this house here too. We would have lost it. That's why you should have seen the flames coming over here, mate. They were 60 foot high.
When did this gun go off?
Big pardon? Yeah. We've got no water, you know, no water.
Yeah.
Water pressure, everyone's got the hoses going to get no water, see?
Get the gauge up there.
They got water on it, mate? Yeah. So we right, woman right, you reckon? Yeah.
Well, that's
As long as that tree doesn't get
speaking now. That's right.
what's that way? I think get back.
I don't know, about 20 kilos.
Yeah.
Geez, I like to cut that tree down.
Yeah.
Your house, was it?
Yep.
Did you have to evacuate or?
My dad and my brother stayed, and we went down to Collaroy.
Did they try and save the house or not?
I don't know. He's the one who knows. Walking down the drive, my brother.
No. What was this building here? Was this just a garage?
It was a garage. Yeah.
So you're pretty lucky compared to some other houses around here.
Definitely. Our house went down in the 79 fire, and so we're really lucky it didn't go down again. Lucky it was only the garage. Yeah. Thank God we saved the cars.
Yeah.
All I could see before was like bush, and oh, I can't believe this. Bewildered.
That wire don't burn and fall on your head, mate.
It's safe to come up now. The other one's actually collapsed.
There's the Lexus.
Yeah, they left the Ute and the Lex. They leave the Lex.
They left the Lexus.
yourself.
Where are they going this way for?
King's Cross 2. King's Cross 2. I think this veteran military smoke is very down here on some people out, especially if they're elderly. Yeah, cop. Matches Fires 1.
When people left.
Advise the situation re-evacuate.
Oh, you freak.
Thank you. Emergency centre, you copy that?
Right, mate. Yep.
Through the severe smoke from the area. Relation to
Still hot iron feet, pull out. Belrose deputy, Belrose hose line, Belrose deputy. Pull out if it's still hot. Scotty, you here? What can you do?
You can't. You can't. All you can do is to try your best, right? It's bloody impossible. It really is.
We got 6 names here. The board's got 2 alike down there.
Yeah, you can only do what's possible. Nothing else. It's just, yeah, it's impossible. The conditions, it's just impossible.
Lucky. Welcome.
So we're here.
I'm just saying here until they get this thing playing all out. We saved, because that one was going, but we managed to knock that one down and save that one. The one to the right of that one, we're trying to save now, and then the board guys have got the one behind us. Do you want another hose line down on that further house? All right. You, Mikey, you, I want 38 lines run down to that third house along. Right. Where do you want it? Jim, go with Ollie.
What about the flyer? Someone check on the flyer?
No, negative.
Checking on the house on the ground.
Right, you go and check the flyer with Richard.
Pressure! Pressure!
There's a precious paper. That's the problem. Yeah. We've got to have a water carrier on its way here. We're going to be out 15 minutes. Oh, well. There's another big beast that's floating around too. If he comes back half full, I'll send him up. Yep, please. Right. Yep. Okay. Yep.
No, we lost the water. I had to tell him we lost it. And the back blew out of it, nearly blew us off the rock.
Why don't burn and fall on your head, mate? It's safe to come up now. The other one's actually flat.
A little tree fell on that, and that started that, and we couldn't.
We had water in.
We'd have put it out.
Put that one out too, but
How did you get the old people out?
Well, they just left. They just left. And about 6 o'clock last night, there's a cat sitting on the brick wall there, and I went down, all his paws were burnt. But he did all right. The owner come back this morning and thanked us. And
when it came at you, it came from more than one way, I take it?
It come over the hill, and it come
straight over the hill and straight up the gully.
Two fronts. And the ambers as big as golf balls, and they just like a hailstorm, red ambers. And they hurt real bad, you know, lip blisters and legs, and you know, we had the gear on but still got through. And we hosed each other down, and we were dry in a minute and a half from your underpants, you know, just saturated. You know, the intensity were dry, but it was like you come out the clothes dry in a minute and a half, and you know, maybe even less. So, you know, the old adrenaline was going. So,
I bet it was.
Yeah.
So you're saying the place behind you was burnt down a few years ago?
79 that burnt down because they were not home, and it was like this at verandas, and the fire got up underneath, and we imagined that this would, you know, come up, as you can see, come up and get under this, and we had the roof tiles, the smoke was in there in the roof, got in under the gutter somehow, so I ripped all the roof tiles off and just saturated the roof. So just a little pre-planning, but you know, Mother Nature's pretty. When she goes off, you know.
But it obviously jumped right over the top of the house too and got the boat.
Yeah. We had to fight that one too. We had two at the back end and one at the front.
It's a fire. We jumped from the boat across the
to that house over there.
Front road, and the trees.
Yeah, we were doing real good here, and it was coming over the back here, you know.
So we ran round the front and round the back, and then we hightailed out and come back in again.
Yeah. I just feel sorry for the people, you know, that lost their houses. You know, I really feel for them, you know. So we were lucky.
We've done a pretty good job here saving all of these. Although we were so selective, you look just behind you, and there's one house gone.
No, that's the garage. But it's a garage. But all these down below and all that, he lost a bit of his, you know, patio and things like that. But the house itself, one corner's a bit fire damage.
Was there any point where you felt that, you know, it was going to go, that you wouldn't be able to save the place? The initial rush from you know, I said, oh God, you know, 3 Old Marys, you know, they'll come and get me. I'll be on the decky, you know, charred ruin. But you know, what do you reckon the answer is? I mean, everybody wants to live. Most people want to live as close as they can to the bush.
Yeah.
And yet, something like this is going to happen.
Right.
Say every 20 years. What do you think the answer is? More controlled burning?
Well, I think that's the go. I don't think you'll have any argument with anybody there, because the fire brigade especially, they know. They're the guys. They know what's going on, and they know how when the wind comes, you know, you just can't, and it jumps from one tree to the other. If you've got controlled burning with hardly any undergrowth, it can't. You wouldn't have it. It can't jump. You know, I know it jumps from tree to tree, but that's when it's in a firestorm. But
it's got to build up to do that.
Yeah, that's right. They, as I said, a couple of years they did a fire break, but you know, it'd be growing back again. You know, I don't know the politics of it, but you know, I think they used to do it, and now what? Now they don't. You know.
Well, they stopped doing it because the conservationists said it was bad.
Conservation. No, we didn't see any yesterday. Well, not that anybody's going to recognise that that they were one.
Can I just get your name?
Yeah, Ray Horsfield.
And yours?
Andrew Quanton.
Andrew?
Quanton.
Quanton. How do you spell it then?
K-W-A-N-T-N.
Right.
And another guy's not here today was Dennis, this guy. He was in the Ash Wednesday in Victoria, and he called the shots and kept us. You know, he knew it because he'd been there, done that. We didn't know. You know, we had an idea, but you know, it's better somebody can direct you that's been there and done it. You know what I mean? Saved our lives, and you know, we got on with the job. Best of our ability, you know. Yeah, a bit of a fire, all right.
That's the main thing. You just can't breathe.
So you're doing real good.
And then you can't, and when the flames come, it just sucks everything in front of you. And you can't do anything. So you just can't, when you can't breathe, you can't keep your head straight,
Moved out yesterday.
Moved out 9 o'clock this
Yeah.
morning.
Moved out 9 o'clock in the morning. The owner arrived after 5 being too.
But he
The guy who sold it lost his new one, didn't he? Yeah, the one who moved out last
Really?
week.
yeah, Terry Hill,
Lost his new one.
take it and
They did a baby and lost a lot. We've got no enemy.
Terrible story. There's one place yesterday near the Illinois country club, I think.
They didn't,
splits the paint.
I know they moved all their furniture and everything out yesterday morning.
Have you got your power back on?
No, the power's not.
See how close it went to the water.
We up, we got stayed up all night spotting, because it was flaring up. You could see all the ambers, and the wind was blowing again. It got up last night, the wind again, and all these guys, you've got your spectators and your locals, and it's concerned people come around and they go, and then you got a dead for about an hour there was, and then all of a sudden all these, people, most young blokes, coming in their high beam and driving around, just checking all the houses and looking and walking around, and nothing. You could feel that they were up to no good. You know what I mean? You get that gut feeling.
Did you see any of them go in?
No, I didn't actually see anybody go in, but they were there looking, and they were, walking around, and that time of the morning, everybody's gone. It's dead quiet, and it was just up to no good, That's how I seen it. And I just think, you're local. No, off they went, As soon as you challenge them, they went,
All right. Yeah, there was people going into at the height of it at Denali yesterday, last night apparently. There were people going into going through people's bedrooms and looking for jewels and jewellery boxes.
Yeah, because all the houses are unlocked because you have to get in,
And we live further down Warara Avenue, and during the afternoon they asked us to leave all our properties. They brought us on one of the cars, and of course then we moved. We went over to Collaroy place.
Was the fire very close at that stage?
We could see it. We could see it coming from the back of the lake there, and from a neighbour's place across the road. We could see the flames leaping up in the air, so immediately we were prepared. We started packing a few things, just threw in anything, and then we went over to the other side of the lake, just as a precaution. We didn't know what was going to take place.
A lot luckier than some of your neighbours here.
Oh, very lucky. Yes, when they told us the flames had left the road, and they wanted everybody to get out so that there wouldn't be a loss of life.
In the 35 years that you've been living here, have they regularly sort of burnt this area off, or is it something they haven't done?
I don't think they've done anything, but the council won't allow us to chop any trees, do anything without permission. They said even if we chop a rose bush down there, we could be in trouble. But I think they've gone a bit too far. You can go too far one way and you can go too far the other way, so you've got to strike a balance. Well, that's my opinion.
Can I ask your name, sir?
Ken Williams.
Oh, nice to meet you, Mr. Williams.
Good
luck. Spectacular, to be honest.
I'm going to miss him.
If you could just begin by telling me what it was like last night. What happened?
Okay, well, it depends on how I want to go back. Yesterday morning, very quickly, it was almost like this. Our next door neighbours, the first time they'd seen a bushfire, were very apprehensive, and I was trying to calm them and say, wind of this strength from that direction, it's not going to be a problem.
How far away was the fire at this stage?
Oh, it was just in the evening before was a red glow over that hillside, just a red glow. Never, it didn't perturb us at all. We just went to bed and we slept. And yesterday morning, the smoke was still there, and the wind was like this, and we said, look, there's no problem at all, but watch out, the wind changes. So we all made preparations, filling buckets and baths and plugging up bottom of doors with wet towels and whatever, removing all the combustible material as far away as possible from the houses, and packing the cars, because we thought we might be forcibly evacuated by the police. Although we didn't want to go, we knew that our best chance of saving the house was to stay here. So in the afternoon, I remember I got a call from my brother in Canada, and I explained to him, I said, look, it's getting pretty bad, the wind is starting now to come up at about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I said, there's nothing more we can do, we made all the preparations. I think about 3 o'clock, we suddenly saw the great cloud of yellow, grey smoke over there. We realised it was coming closer and closer, and we said, well, this is it, and what are we going to do? We'll stick it out. So we stood there behind that window.
When you say we,
my wife and I.
Right.
And we stood there and we watched it, and suddenly I said, I can see the flames. It's here. And it just came over that hilltop. It came roaring down. We could only see at first the dense smoke. We couldn't even see the house next door for the smoke. And then behind us we saw the orange glow. And then finally the naked flames, and it just came at us. And it was just a holocaust.
And the others missed you? And
no, it didn't miss us. This house, the one next door, I would say, took the brunt of it. Because it hit us fair and square. Because it came down, and I actually had a ringside seat as to how it behaved, because it came down, and it was just a massive wall of flame. I don't know what height would have been. It might have been 50, 100 metres. I took a lot of photographs. I'm just hoping that some come out, because even though it's a large lens and I was on slow speed, I was still getting warning light, like not enough light. But when you got to the edge of where we cleared, you could see it was then still consuming the stuff behind. Even though the ball of fire was still rushing at us, it was drawing on its reserve back there. And then it hit the house and it went around us, and we're just drowning in sparks, just horizontal barrage of sparks. I don't know how long it lasted. It might have been 60 seconds, but it was a long 60 seconds. And then we saw the flames bursting out of next door, and we were aware of flames in the corner of our roof, which is right on the line of fire. And but we knew that it had gone past. So after that, all the efforts were to putting out the fire. And I was up on the roof with a bucket of water. I'm talking about 2 or 3 minutes after the fire, and I heard a fire engine in the street, and I couldn't believe it, that they were there so quickly. And I wriggled out of the roof, which is a rather tortuous passage, rushed outside. It was like an inferno, because it was still burning, but the main fireball had gone. And those guys were there at that time. And they started to get out the hoses for next door, and I shouted that our house also was on fire in the corner. And they said, well, let's concentrate on saving one house. And so they put the hose onto our property. But that had gone. There was no hope of saving next door. If the people had stayed behind in that one, they couldn't have saved it. But most of the others, or some of the others, could have been saved if the people stayed behind, I believe.
Yeah.
And ours would also have gone had we vacated the house.
Did you have problems with water pressure?
Yes, yes.
Did that go before the main fire arrived, or?
No, it didn't. It went during, because even the firefighters drawing straight from the main hydrants ran out of water. I mean, they do have water tanks on the trucks as well, but eventually we're running low on water.
It's a difficult question, I know, but for people who live in bushland settings like this, what's the lesson?
Well, first of all, it's, if you can, don't build in timber. There's this house next door, and the other house about 3 doors away, a big house on stilts, old timber, beautiful timber decking around, bush growing up to the windows virtually. That went like a torch. It's idiocy to build a timber house when you see a piece of timber tucked well and it's just burst into fire spontaneously. So you're building something solid, at least a brick fascia. The next thing is to have a good wire clearing all around the house. And I mean, then all the other usual things like making sure to get rid of all the rubbish and leaves in the gutters, filling the gutters with water. I don't believe does anything, but I could be wrong. But I think after that, in preparation for the fire, you fill receptacle with water because you will lose pressure. If you can have some sort of pump where you could direct the water to, because that corner of the house, it was impossible to get to. I was lying full length in the corner of the roof trying to throw jugs of water at the flames through a narrow opening. And I maybe scored 1 out of 3 hits. So.
You just found tonight? Yep. 6:30 or whatever. 6 o'clock. Oh, right.
And then before that, there were those terrible fires in the late 60s in the Blue Mountains.
Yes.
That whole series of things.
I understand, that's right, yes.
Are we right?
Okay,
So just tell me what happened last night.
Well, as far as we were concerned, we were having a party here for approximately 107 people, my daughter's engagement party, when we were suddenly asked to leave within the hour. The fire brigade had just given us a warning and they said, please get the hell out of there. So that's what we did. Within 10 minutes of us leaving, I understand, because I wasn't going to stick around and find out, the Holocaust came through. And it completely came through like a great big ball of fire, devastated my next door neighbour's house, the house next door to that, missed the next one and destroyed the one beyond that.
What do you reckon saved you?
Just sheer luck. Oh, plus the fact too that Charlie's pool was above my property, and that being an in-ground pool, it melted and all the water came down onto the side of the house, which was most endangered. That being the case, we were lucky, as you can see from here. So we were very fortunate, but if it hadn't been for Charlie's pool melting, I think we would have been in dire straits.
Thanks, Dave.
You're welcome.
What was the surname again?
Harris.
Dave Harris. Okay, thank you very
Nice
much.
of me.
Well, tell me.
I just told you.
We right?
Yep.
Right. The sort of people who live in an area like this, do you think they gave enough attention or paid enough attention to protecting the property?
Well, I don't think so. That's why I reckon this house went down. Yeah, we've been chopping trees down here for a couple of days, and we sat it out inside. We were still chopping trees down when it roared over the hill. It was just awesome, like, you know.
And you reckon...
we put a good 20 feet clearing all the way around the house, had the gutters full of water hours before it came, to soak the whole place around it. Not that the water probably did anything, because the heat was that intense. There was 30-foot fireballs going over the top of the roof. My uncle, it happened that quick. We tried to move the cars into the clearing in front of the house, and it happened that quick. My uncle was trapped in the car, and that's what scared me the most. My uncle was trapped in the car, driving around, dodging flames, and we're in the house, and the windows are rattling, and I've never been so scared in my whole life.
Your place ended up being all right because you've taken precautions. What about some of these other places here?
Well, that's why these people bailed, like, I don't know how long before, but, I mean, look, the trees are still all around the house. They had to chop the trees down because the intensity of the fire just rips through that fast. It can't burn, like, everything burns that quick. If you've got no fuel around your fire to burn, well, it can't burn your house.
So by the time it hit this valley, you must have been the only people...
Well, it happened that quick. The fireys didn't have a chance to get down to warn us. There was actually fireys down there, the bushies. They were stuck down in there, down the bottom there, trying to get people out, and their mirrors on their cars were melted off the doors virtually. And you know, the lights, their pumps were all melted, like because we still had a retaining wall burning up here with you know, all stuff that John's been collecting for years, just all this rubbish, you know, because he's an old mechanic, just rubbish just chucked in the back, and they couldn't help us because their pumps were down. We were trying to fight it with buckets, but it wasn't working, but we managed to.
How did places like this get saved?
With fires. See that there was flames coming out that dormer window there that you can see. We could see it from there, and then the fires came, and there was no one. The owners weren't there, but they came and saved it. Like, and that's when I came down and grabbed one of them, and they came up and helped us too, because we didn't want Uncle John's shed to go up.
Do you reckon there's a case for councils putting in tougher regulations, enforcing people to
No, I blame the Greenies for not letting us backburn. I really do.
Do you reckon well, is it the Greenies or the politicians who do what the Greenies tell them?
Well, I don't know really enough about it, but whoever's stopping it, there should be, whether it's Greenies, politicians, Paul Keating, I don't know, who's stopping this backburning, but they should be allowed to backburn, and we've had a hell of a good backburn now.
Yes, well, Troy, thanks very much. So, what's your second name?
Bailey.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Peter.
For some people, the full horror of these fires is still to come. This was a multi-million-dollar house with manicured lawns and gardens. The owners, they're overseas on their annual holidays.
And look down and then walk and then start talking, okay? Away you go.
For some people, the full horror of these bushfires is still to come. This was a multi-million-dollar residence in Eleanora, manicured lawns and gardens. At least it was when the owners left to go overseas for their annual holidays.
Right.